Hello, welcome back to How to RV, and today I want to talk about that freshwater tank of yours and how can we sterilize it so that you can make sure that you have good, clean drinking water. So the wife and I just recently went camping, and as we were using our fresh water, she asked me, when is the last time we sterilized our tank? And to be completely honest here, I have never sterilized our tank, and I really need to get this done because our camper is now 3 years old. Now, I don't know about you, but we do camp on ours quite often. We at least try to go out once a month, so we use our tank a lot. But nevertheless, we still need to keep that tank sterilized so that we know that we have good, clean drinking water for ourselves and for our dogs. So today I want to take you through a few steps that you can do so that you can sterilize your tank and have good, clean, safe water to drink. Now, you would think that going into something like this would be difficult, and it is not, and I want to tell you why. And that is because all you're going to need is a little bit of bleach and a whole lot of water for your freshwater tank. Now, if you're worried that a little bit of bleach is going to be harmful for your RV, your pump, your hoses, your pipes, and all that stuff, if you think of it in this way, the bottle that holds the bleach itself is made of plastic, just like a lot of the parts inside of your RV, as well as the hoses and seals and all that stuff inside of a washing machine that is used to wash clothes. And as we get into the details here in just a minute, we're not going to be using a whole lot of bleach to do this process, so you'll be just fine doing this inside of your RV and proving that it'll do the job and be okay and safe for your RV. Now, as I just mentioned before, there's only a couple of things you need here, and one is the water to go into your tank, and the other is the bleach itself. The type of bleach that you want is just a regular old Clorox type of bleach, or any kind of bleach out there. It's just regular old bleach. You do not want to buy any kind of bleach that has any kind of cleaners, any kind of scents in it. You just want regular old bleach that you buy from the store that does not have anything added into it, no concentrated or any kind of additives. So for my process, what I did is I got out my water hose, got everything ready to fill up my freshwater tank. And because the tank was already empty, I'm ready to go ahead and add the bleach into the water to get it into the RV. So I took a 2-liter bottle and I cut off the bottom of it and taped a hose to it so that I could fill it a little bit full of water and then add some bleach to it and a little bit more water to it. And the reason for that is so that everything can be kind of pre-mixed. Now, I don't know if that is actually necessary, but for me, I like to have a little bit of a pre-mix before going in. Now, as I say that, as I'm putting it into the RV, as you can see here in the video, I kind of make a little bit of a mess before I do that. So if you have any other preferred method or some other way to do this without being able to make a mess, please leave down in the comments below on how you've done this process yourself. And maybe how I cannot make such a mess. Now that I have the pre-mix inside of the RV, I'm going to go ahead and put the hose into the freshwater tank side. I'm going to go ahead and fill up the rest of my tank. And to be able to check the levels, I'm going to go inside of my RV and I'm going to look at my level indicator. And as I get to the full mark, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the water hose and let it sit there. Now, here is an interesting part that I'm sure a lot of you are asking. Once you have the bleach water in there, how long are you going to let it sit there? And in this case, you want to let the bleach water sit there for about 8 hours. Now, don't worry, if you put it in there in the evening and you want to let it sit there for a little bit longer than 8 hours, you're not going to hurt anything, but at least try to leave it in there for 8 hours to let it do its job. Once I have the bleach water inside of the tank and it's ready to sit there for 8 hours, I'm going to go inside the RV and I'm going to go ahead and turn on my faucets and things like that inside of the RV that use the water. That way I can get some of that bleach water through the lines and let all the lines have that bleach water sitting in there so they can do the same job inside of all my lines and my faucets and everything, just like it's doing inside of the tank. Now, you may be out there asking, what are you going to do when the 8 hours are up? And in this case, what I'm going to do is go ahead and empty my freshwater tank all the way out, let it completely drip dry clean. And I'm going to take my water hose, I'm going to fill the tank all the way back up, and I'm going to go ahead and run all my lines inside of the RV again, including all the faucets and everything. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and empty the tank again and do this a few times to get everything washed out nice and clean. That way the bleach smell is gone. Once this is done, your tank is clean and sterilized and ready to go. So is all the lines, the pipes, and all the faucets inside of your RV. And as far as frequency for doing this, I know that I've had my RV for about 3 years and haven't done it yet. And I haven't had any issues to say that I needed to do it this time at all. But if I had to make a recommendation, I would go ahead and say that you probably should do this at least once a year, and preferably at the beginning of every camping season. Another good tip here is that if you're going to leave your RV sitting all winter long, or you're going to leave it sitting for any long periods of time, then go ahead and open up the drain on your freshwater tank and let it go ahead and empty itself all the way completely, and just leave it that way until the next time you're ready to use it. And now let's go ahead and review some of your comments from our previous videos. The first comment comes from the video RV Gas Electric Water Heater Explained. And it comes from Darren McCutcheon asking the different things about switches for his water heater inside of his RV. But there's one particular thing that I wanted to note here inside of his comment. And he said, I will add that I didn't know that there was a switch in the box outside, and it was on since I bought the trailer. I will replace the element. Now, Darren, I'm glad that you brought this up because a lot of people don't really know or understand this. That if you have a water heater with a switch on the outside, that is typically for the electrical element. And if you leave it on and you hook up your trailer to power and you don't have water inside of your tank, then that electrical heating element can heat up and burn up and be no good to you whatsoever. This next comment comes from the video, Your RV Thermostat Sucks. And it comes from Kathy Diggs asking, does it have the option to use the heat strips in the AC unit as well as the actual propane furnace? Mine does do the furnace and the AC, and even almost at the same time if the temperature gets too hot or too cold inside of my RV. And as far as the electrical strip inside of it, I do not know because I do not have one inside of mine. But if you want to know, you can go to MicroAir's website, the manufacturer who makes this thermostat, and you can go and contact them in order to find out the information that you may need for that one. And this final comment came off of the video Propane Tank Upgrade RV Tips and DIY. And the comment came from James Ray pointing out something that I didn't necessarily point out inside the video. And that is talking about the expiration of your tank and the date and all that stuff on it. So if you want to go back and watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about here. But in this case, James's comment says, not true on 10-year tank has to be replaced. You can get it recertified for continued usage. And James is absolutely right. If your tank is 10 years or older, then when you go to get it refilled, they most likely are not going to refill it because of the age. It has to at least be less than 10 years old in order for them to refill it by law. So what most people have done, which I have done it myself, is I go ahead and discard of the tank and I go ahead and buy a brand new one. Now in my case, I don't have anybody local to me to go ahead and recertify it, so it's easier just to go ahead and discard of that tank and get a new one. But James, you are right. If you want to go ahead and save a little extra money, you can go ahead and get your tank recertified and continue to use that tank over and over and over again. With all that being that your tank actually passes the test that they have to do to recertify it. And again, thank you for all the comments that y'all leave on all the amazing videos that we have on this channel. And until the next time that we get together, keep your tanks clean, enjoy your RV trips, and God bless.